Governor Dan McKee will have at least 7 judicial appointments in the coming months, which will give him the chance to make his mark on the state's courts, but will also generate extra scrutiny while he's running for re-election. Boston Globe columnist Dan McGowan has been tracking the court vacancies, and he joins us now. So, Dan, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Dan. So why are there this many vacancies right now?
Yeah, it's kind of an unusual number. It's a sort of unusually high, especially for those Superior Court vacancies. So there's 7 that we know of right now. They're not entirely finished yet. Presiding Judge Alice Gibney, she doesn't retire until the end of October, but we know there's basically 7 up in the air. And to answer the question directly, I mean, I think it's a matter of circumstance. You've had just a bunch of retirements. It's not like people are, flocking to other jobs, or it's not anything like the national picture of, trying to push people out. It just happens to be that people are getting old and they're ready to retire. So you have 7 of those right now.
All right, and so judges are appointed by the governor and confirmed by the Senate, but there's a lot of more politically things happening behind the scenes. So what's happening right now?
Yeah, so this is you nailed it on sort of the ABCs of democracy, but how it actually works, right, is there's a lot of horse trading behind the scenes. So typically when there's a opening for some of these really high in their lifetime judicial appointments, so you have the governor wants to make his pick, you've got the Senate that's going to confirm that wants their people in, and then you have the Speaker who also kind of wants people. Now, 7, big number, potentially everybody gets their way, but there are a couple of ones that are, one in particular I think that is sort of a high-profile example. The Senate really wants its former Majority Leader, Michael McCaffrey, to be appointed to the bench. There's been some coverage of this, and that's going to put Governor McKee in a little bit of a tough spot because he'll get criticized if he appoints kind of an insider, but the Senate's going to want to confirm one of their own.
And, it's hard to put a timestamp on some of these things. So when do we expect these vacancies to be filled?
Yeah, there's been some talk of potentially doing a special session. Remember, the legislature's out of session until January. It's not unprecedented at all for the Senate to come back and kind of take care of judges in the fall, so in this period right now, ahead of the new legislative session. Governor McKee, though, has said he wants to wait until the new session pops up. The challenge with that, as I was saying, is, the longer you go, if this starts to get into April and May, suddenly now everybody's paying attention to what you're doing for re-election. You're going to have Helena Foulkes, his opponent, potentially criticizing decisions. You're going to have other people potentially, really muddying it up in political water. So I think there's still a chance you see a special session, at least for some of these appointments, but more likely it's going to kick into next year.
It's always tough to wrap your head around the political atmosphere, but that's why we have Dan McGowan in studio. Dan, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Dan McGowan with the Boston Globe.